Hey kids, thanks for tuning in. I'm your host Kenny Esparza and you're watching Where the Wild Things Dance. I'm sitting here with Cassidy Martin, who is one part of J2C, and he's going to talk to us today about DJing.
Hi Kenny.
How's it going, man?
It's going
Thanks
well.
for coming in. You're looking good.
Yeah, so are you with your slicked back hair and bottle glasses. And those Coke bottle glasses, is that what they're called?
Don't talk about my glasses.
Oh.
So how'd you get started with this whole electronic music thing?
Well, I grew up like in the middle of nowhere, and I always wanted to be in a band and play music. I like got into punk rock music at a young age and like weird types of rock and roll, and I always wanted a drum set. But,
yeah, me too.
But my house is too small. My parents were too strict about noise, so I was never able to have a drum set. So I found out that I could make drums on my computer, so I started doing that, and before I knew it, I started making music and started getting into electronic music itself. And then when I was about 18 or 19, I had some friends that threw forest parties, which are like all-night dance parties out in the middle of the forest in the Santa Cruz Mountains that would start at midnight and go till 6 a.m. and started helping out and seeing what those guys did and got into DJing through that. I
remember you telling me about that. You were telling me that you could pretty much find the party. How would kids find the party eventually?
I think we're talking about something up separate, but so these parties would happen where basically like the night of, we would have an email list, a phone list, and then like a Facebook personal message list, and basically say, we have a show going on here. Here's a Google Docs to the directions to the place. Right. And basically it's this long direction. Sometimes you'll have to go out on like a 1-lane road that takes like an hour, and then you'll stop, and then you'll see all these other cars parked, and then maybe some rope lights that lead down to like maybe down like a ravine or something, and then you get to the bottom of the ravine, and like there's this full sound space going on, and like, you know, full music show party with maybe like 200 or 300 people at times. It was pretty cool.
Fun.
Yeah, it's definitely where my roots are with music. Like good vibes, positive people.
Yeah. So what do you think of the scene out here compared to out there?
It's huge. There's a lot of like diversity and niche. Like you could be into, you know, let's say like you're into like liquid drum and bass, which is like a special type of drum and bass. There's at least one night a week where you can go out and just exclusively listen to that.
Right.
So, you know, as opposed to where Santa Cruz, where, you know, if it was electronic music in general, there were about two different types of main genres of music that were there. You'd have to go to one of those maybe once every 2 weeks. You know, you can go to something every night, and the people that are into it, the producers and the DJs here, are absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've met so many people that are so talented and dedicated to what they do. It just really, it motivates me to even like want to, you know, achieve that kind of level of work and stuff.
Yeah. No. So you've been pretty much playing consistently since I've met you. So how do you go about getting gigs? I know you were at Dance for a Cause last week.
Oh yeah, Joe Duffy and I, who are he's the other half of J2C. Yeah, we DJ'd at Dance for a Cause, which is this cool fundraiser that went on at the Milk Bar. All proceeds went to this program called All Hands on Deck that sets up like wells in Africa and all these like infrastructure projects there. So we raised about over $1,000. I just got the email today about how much we raised and stuff, and that was really cool. But how I go about getting gigs, I think it's just meeting people. Like you'll meet someone, and like, you know, you'll be going out to a show, and you know, you go out inside to smoke a cigarette, or you'll be inside of a club and just talking. You'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I DJ records, and we talk, and they're usually DJs too, so they talk, and they'll end up being like, well, sometimes I throw club nights X, Y, and Z, and then a month later they'll call us up and say, hey, you know, do you have a spot? And we usually do that. So that's usually the easiest way to get to shows, is actually being out at these parties and hanging out with them, and then getting shows through that.
I see. So how long you been DJing with Joe Duffy? That's recent, right?
4 months now.
Not bad, not bad. So what's Slappin' Tight?
Slappin' Tight is something that Matt Sabotage Nakatani puts on every week at Park 77. Park 77 is a really weird bar. It's part like local bar for all the weirdos that go hang out at who live over in Park Merced,
yeah.
And then part of it is like college students, and the other half is like people who want to watch sports. So it's definitely the weirdest place I've ever DJ'd.
Yeah. It's usually, some nights go off, some nights don't.
Yeah, it's not a fun place for girls to be.
Well, I guess that's all the time we have. I'm Kenny Esparza. We've been talking with Cassidy Martin.
Hi.
And have a good night.